Welcome to the DTC YouTube channel. As always, I am Dan, here with design and renovation tips and tricks. If you enjoy our content or prefer to hate watch us, either way, I would love to give you a chance to like and subscribe. It helps us bring you more content, whether you love or hate me. But today, I'm getting into an article I read that I really enjoyed from Havenly. It's talking about top interior trends for 2025. So let's get into it. First, we have in pattern pops, out solids on solids. So this is not surprising to me. We're seeing this huge shift away from minimalism, everything, super serene. People are wanting some life back in their interiors and the way that they decorate their homes. I like it. I think you can definitely find a sweet spot, even if you are somebody that falls on a little bit more of the minimal end and you want something serene and calm. It doesn't mean you can't add in some subtle pattern into your space. So I like this. I think it's great. The article gets into seeing liberal yet intentional use of patterns. So intentional seems to be a large word lately, and I think it's a good one, even though it is overused, but we do want to be intentional in what we do and how we decorate our homes, because it is what's going to give us our longest lasting and happiest result. All right, next. We've got in dusty blues and yellows, out green everything. I'm not mad at this. Over the years, green has cemented itself as this color that is also a neutral. And I think really when you are thinking about color in your space, definitely don't jump on a trend bandwagon with this. I think be thoughtful in the way that you do your color. Make sure your color story works. And if you still love green, do a green color story. Who gives a shit? Dusty blues and dusty yellows, I love it. I think we're branching out into more color, but in this muted way. And when you think about nature, green, blue, and yellow, you know, grass, sky, and sun, I think this makes sense. But if you want to branch further out, I think getting into some really deep reds is going to be coming. It's just stuff that brings a bit of drama. So even if you're not a Leo or a Gemini, where you like lighting the world on fire, if you just want to have a little bit of spice in the home, go for a little bit of color, and feel free to even branch out further than a dusty blue or yellow. All right, next. In English charm, out cottagecore. I think, to me, what this means is we're taking, you know, English design influences, bringing them into our spaces, and I do really, really like that. The older I get, the more I notice I'm drawn more to that design aesthetic. But I think for me, what this is also saying is we're coming into more of a balanced era. I think that we saw like the modern farmhouse, the cottagecore, like whatever you were doing the like most specific and most idealized version of that. And now it is peppering in these elements. And so, you know, coming out of cottagecore and into English charm, some of the things will still feel the same, but it's just going to feel a little more balanced in the space. Oh, I like this one. This is going to be hard for people. In silver and chrome, out brass and gold, everything. So in the last few projects we've done, I've had to push people a little bit to not just use brass. I think brass is fantastic. I think an unlacquered brass will always, always, always stand the test of time. Anything that will patina and age. But I think there's balance in everything. And so just the way, you know, in the 90s, all we saw was silver and chrome, nickel, whether it be brushed, polished chrome. Now we've been seeing brushed brass everywhere. And brushed brass was the thing if you were evolving in your design. And it's still great, but if you're looking at a place to start with this, I always tell people in the kitchen, I love to use a mixture of these metals. And if you're using something like a brushed stainless, brushed nickel on your faucet, on your sink, some of your appliances, and then you still can pepper in brass, unlacquered brass, matte brass, some gold, and play with it maybe in the lighting fixtures, but just having a balance. But truthfully, the easiest place to start if you're going to bring back in a silver is in a faucet. All right, in, warm wood, out, high contrast black. This does not surprise me at all. I think warm wood, we're seeking places that feel cozy and inviting, and warm wood is a thing that does that. I never was much for the cool gray tones. For maybe 5 years straight, the most common paint color I used was Revere Pewter by Benjamin Moore, and it's because it had such a warm tone to it. But, you know, we had this moment where it was like, paint it black, and I love black. One of my favorite kitchens I've ever done is black and walnut. There's drama to it, there's a richness, there's just something that can feel very, very classic about it, but I think we overdid it. And I think when this trend came in, it was kind of like in the 90s, if you had a wild hairstyle or a lot of earrings and you were a guy, it was oh so edgy. And now nobody gives a shit. And I think that's what we sort of saw with this black paint movement. Got a vintage piece of furniture. Ooh, be edgy, paint it black. And now we're starting to step back from that a little bit. I think black's always gonna have a place in the home. The color is beautiful. My favorite is Tricorn Black by Sherwin-Williams. It is just beautiful on cabinetry. It's beautiful on window panes. Like, it's such a good black, but this does not surprise me. I think years ago, if there was wood paneling in a house, people would come in and just paint it all. I think now they're scaling back, find the balance in it. It's still okay to paint some wood if you don't want it to be overwhelming, but I think leaving some warm wood in your home is going to be great. In Curated Collectibles, that's nice and vague. Out, fast furnishing. So let's see. Goodbye to quick fixes and mass-produced decor. I'm not mad at this. I think, like fashion, we're inundated with these images of home and clothes and design, and we're like, oh, we like this, and we don't know why. So we drive to Target and we see Shea McGee or Joanna Gaines' sections. And while they are all really, really pretty pieces, I think when you just go and you puke up 10 things that you bought on a whim and put them in your home, it's not going to feel great. I think you're not going to have a connection to it. And so, talking about Curated Collectibles, I think you can still go to Target and buy those pieces, but don't just go there and buy everything that you think that's what you're supposed to buy. Mix those in. I have some vases in my home on my bookshelves. They were bought from West Elm in 2012, and at that time they meant nothing to me. They were paired with things that did, and I now have them, over 10 years later. I still use them and I still love them, and they've gone with me through every home. Now they feel more like a curated collectible, but it took time. So, just keep in mind when you're putting out your collections, keep it balanced, have a mixture, buy things you really like, and just don't rush it. All right, what do we got next? In romantic details. Out, cool, modernism. I think we are seeing a repeating pattern here. We're tired of white boxes, clean lines everywhere, and we want to feel some life and some warmth in our spaces again. Much like relationships, if you keep it to a point where it's just stale and the same, it gets old. And I think we've seen that a little bit with interiors, and now we're moving back. So it's talking about traditional design slowly making its way back. I do believe that to be true. They're talking about pleating, fringe, bolster pillows, vintage decor finds. It's great, and what's lovely is those things will look even better if they're paired together well and balanced with still some more streamlined and newer pieces. And I think you've got some very great designers out there doing collaborations and having furniture lines. Jake Arnold, Athena Calderon, oh, it's gonna kill me, Amber Lewis at Four Hands. They're doing a fantastic job with honoring vintage, honoring timelessness and true timelessness. I know that's a buzzword, but making it still feel of the moment. But like, yeah, in 10 years, I'm still gonna wanna sit on this couch by Jake Arnold because the lines of it are beautiful, the proportions are excellent, and the detail is fantastic. So, cool modernism. See you the fuck later. Oh, that's the end. I hope you enjoyed my take on this. Any questions or negative, positive feedback, drop some comments below. Again, please give us a like, a subscribe. I do enjoy doing these 90% of the time. So the more of you that subscribe and watch along, the better chance I have of creating more content and continuing to use my hands more than I should. See you next time.